And I stood on that podium and got a silver medal for myself and for my country. And I've never felt so proud of myself for just being so ballsy and brave. You know what I mean?
Welcome to Chasing Rabbits, the space where we sit down with women who refuse to play small, who rewrite the rules, and who show us what's possible when we listen to that inner voice that says, there's more. I am your host, Alicia. I am a runner, a yoga teacher, a mountain lover, a coach, a retreat host, and a general jack of all trades. But here, my goal is to get you inspired by other women and to make you realize and see the power you have to inspire other people around you. Today, I am absolutely thrilled to welcome a woman whose story is raw, powerful, and proof that healing can happen one trail at a time. From the streets of Bray in County Wicklow, Lisa Byrne walked through years of addiction, single motherhood, and a high-pressure corporate life that left her completely broken. Until the Wicklow Mountains called her name. What began as an escape became her lifeline. In an unbelievably short time, she won the EcoTrail Wicklow 47k right on her home turf, brought home silver for Ireland at the World Mountain Running Championships in Madeira, and showed the world what an unbreakable spirit really looks like. Even after a devastating bike accident that could have ended it all, Lisa came back stronger, more grateful, and more determined than ever. Lisa, your journey from the darkest places to standing on podiums and running these mountains is the kind of story that changes people.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for being here. Welcome to the show, Lisa Byrne.
Thank you. What an introduction. Wow. Oh my God. I'm like, I want to meet this person.
See?
Well, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to speak to you and hopefully to maybe reach out to other women out there to, give them hope and inspire them, and to make them realize that they are worthy and that they are enough.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the purpose. That's the purpose of this podcast. And and I love having you here. Absolutely. And so let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Of the running journey. We know that you went through an addiction, and that was caused obviously by some traumatic episodes in your life, and then the high stress job, the toxic relationship, and everything. And then one day, or was there one specific moment when you're out there in the mountains where you felt that, okay, this is it, I have to stop this life and I need to do something for myself, for the Lisa who is begging me to save her?
Yeah. I think what happened was I hadn't reached the mountains at that stage when that day came. I was as I was in the toxic relationship, in the high pressure job, and I was trying to be a mum to three kids, and I felt like I was failing at everything, and everything was crumbling. I didn't feel like I was good at any of those roles in my life. So I started turning to drink, and I wasn't very good at drinking. So then I started taking cocaine, and the addiction started growing and growing, and escalating from one night a weekend to 3 or 4 nights. And then it was during the day. And the more I was losing who Lisa was, that was taking over more and of my life. And I remember the final, the day that I made the decision. I was suffering really bad with anxiety from obviously the place I was in and the level of alcohol and drugs that I was taking. I was having really bad anxiety attacks, but I had a really bad argument with my the partner, my ex-partner, with my three kids, and I just knew at that point, even though I was so broken and so weak, that wasn't able to leave that life for so long. I just knew at that moment in time that I couldn't let my two little girls, who were only babies really, I couldn't let them grow up to think that this was love, that this was love. So at that moment in time, I had a bit of a nervous breakdown. Um, really, I rang my mum and dad. I was roaring crying. I had to tell them that I was addicted to cocaine, and I left that home with my three kids. And from there, the journey of trying to rebuild Lisa started. I was out sick from AIB. I had to ring my manager in AIB, and I was out sick for nearly a year, probably maybe 8 months of AIB. I was out sick, trying mentally get strong again. Because I just kept thinking, I kept going. I had counselling then every week, and I kept on to my doctors because I tried to I walked into the ocean wanting to take my life, but only for my three kids, that I couldn't do that to them and leave them, that I walked out. So I knew I was onto a phone at a counsellor. AIB offered free services for counselling. I was on the phone to a counsellor who talked me out of walking back out of the sea as well. And at that point, every week when I went to see my own doctor, I'd say, I'm just so afraid that I'm going to do it, that I'm going to end it, because I just don't feel like, how am I going to rebuild my life? And he said, the fact that you're saying that, I know that you will rebuild your life. So every day, every hour, every minute, it was hard at the start, but I over time I started turning the addiction from what I had to exercise and start running. I used to be really into sports when I was growing up, and it did help me in my kind of early 20s to lose a lot of weight. So I started going back to the sports and the running. And I just remember feeling so free and nothing controlled me when I was out running. It was just mine. I owned it. And then I just started rebuilding. I started doing a course to be a PT, a personal trainer, Pilates instructor. And as the time went on, I started finding out who the real Lisa was, and just getting stronger and stronger. And then I started turning to the mountain. So it was an event that happened, and then over time, as I grew stronger, I started turning to the mountains, because the real wild warrior, Lisa, was brave enough to come out, because she wasn't brave before. She was taming her wildness. She was taming that wildness to suit everybody else, allowing other things to control her. And I do massively believe that alcohol and drugs, it can tame that little warrior that we have inside. And that's what happened. I felt free on the mountains then, and I felt I could just be Lisa, and I wasn't being judged. The mountains loved Lisa as Lisa and accepted Lisa. The days where she cried, the days where she wanted to howl like a wild animal, the days she sang and laughed, the mountains loved Lisa for all of the different parts of Lisa. That's what I love about the mountains, you know?
And did that help you accept who you are? Because I know that very often, and that's another thing that we have in common, I was also addicted to drugs.
Yeah.
And I remember that I so much did not accept or liked who I was, that I just didn't want to see that. I just wanted it to be covered by the layers of whatever substance I was on. And then once you strip that back, you have to learn to accept yourself, because otherwise you will again turn to another substance because you just hate what. So did being out there in the mountains and feeling accepted,
Yeah.
did that make you understand or make you feel, because understand is one thing, that's a brain and you need to feel it. Did that make you feel like, I accept who I am?
Yeah. Yeah, it did. Like, I suppose again, first, I was overweight as a teenager, and then I had lost a lot of weight and I became bulimia. I had bulimic, and I was on basically very underweight, very unhealthy, but I still thought I was fat. I still didn't feel like I was pretty enough, beautiful enough. I never felt good enough, or smart enough or anything like that. And I used to wear, a lot of makeup and dye my hair and nails and lashes. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I didn't like Lisa. I didn't like the way she looked. I was nothing was ever good enough. I was always, oh, I needed to lose more weight or I needed to look more prettier. And I just found when I went to the mountains, I could strip back all of that. And it wasn't about really how I looked. It was about what was in my heart, in my soul. And yeah, I think, but I don't know whether that's with age. Do we get a little bit braver as women, and start accepting ourselves a little bit more? But I always struggled with loving Lisa and accepting Lisa as who she was. And I think the mountain kind of allowed me to accept that to start loving myself as, yeah, just to be me, the true me.
Yeah. And was there ever a belief that you had to sit down and deliberately take apart about your worthiness, sorry. And what did you replace it with?
Like I do an awful lot of breath work and an awful lot of prayer. I try to sit still, which is very hard for someone that is a constant, when their brain is constantly moving, to sit with that. But so that's trying to tap into the spiritual side, trying to tap into realizing the dark side. It was my medicine. Does that make sense? Um, so I don't know. Is that kind of answering the question? I'm not sure. Did it? What was your question again? Sorry, I get carried away.
So just tell me, was there anything, so what was your belief of worthiness? So what did you believe in the, let's say, 10 years ago? What did you believe that made you worth love, worth attention, worth anything? And how did that change?
I see. I was always seeking other people's validation. I wanted other people to like me and to love me and to say, "Oh, you're beautiful. You're so pretty," and "Oh, you're the best." And what changed for me is that I don't believe I seek that validation anymore. I do think that's something that we all work on as we go through, because who doesn't like getting the odd praise here or there? But I don't believe that I'm as needy, and like I don't need another human to fulfill me. I always felt like I always had to have a boyfriend. Um, I wasn't beautiful if I didn't have a boyfriend. Now I couldn't think of anything more horrendous. And I know that sounds terrible, and I'm not saying anything bad about the boys, but I feel so fulfilled now within myself that I don't need another human to come in to fill the cup, where I always felt like I needed somebody else to tell me I was beautiful. I can actually genuinely really feel so content. I actually don't even need to look in the mirror, because it's what's in here that I feel beautiful. If that makes any sense at all. Um, yeah, and I think that's what, before I needed other people's approval. Now the only approval I need is my approval, and I analyze my own actions. It's all about awareness for me. I'm not perfect. By no means am I perfect. I will fuck up every day, but I'm more aware of why did I react like that? What happened there? How can I change that? How can I move forward now with peace and love in my heart? What That's where before I probably didn't analyze my own. I wasn't aware of my own things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
amazing. And I am lucky enough that, I met you in person. So I know you are a beautiful human,
Yeah.
and what's beautiful is that you can, when you have people around you, you're like a virus, in a positive way. You laugh and your little dances all over the place. They actually make people, they bring the best out of people. And we seen that in February when you were here with the running group. Everybody just wanted to be around you because you're so fucking positive. And it's not toxic, because
Yeah.
there is a lot of toxic positivity out there, and I just stay away from it.
Yeah.
Please don't, please don't. It's real, and that is just, that's beautiful. I think that is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
funny. Even my little girls, they would say, because I always, if they start moaning or giving out about certain things, I will say, yeah, but think of the starving kids, that are, in Africa or anything, and they go, oh, don't go on about it, oh, you're so positive. And it's just for me, like even when I had my accident, yeah, it, that was obviously an horrific thing for anybody to go through, but I'm die alive, you know. I got this opportunity to still be here. How amazing is that? So I always try and think of the positive, I always try and search for that or search for the lesson. What's the lesson? I try to then, yeah, bring that out the best for my kids as well. I
Yeah.
hope they do.
And how going to that accident, like it's in every athlete's life, when you have season, you are getting ready to races, you're increasing your fitness, you sometimes feel you're on top of the world and you're like, yeah, I'm ready for all those races and I'm, yeah. And then 1 second and
Yeah.
everything is fucking ruined. Everything. You're lying down on the fucking ground. Your leg is being fucking driven over
Mm.
twice, and you're thinking, "Holy crap! Okay, now that sucks." Like,
Yeah.
obviously, and you're then being told, "Okay, this is what happened. This is the damage." And you have to just sit down and you have to suck it up and just enjoy the process. Obviously, it's easy for a person from the outside to tell you, listen, you just relax, it's all good, you're gonna go through it. But what goes through your head
Yeah.
when something like that happens?
Um, like at the time when it happened, I just remember seeing the Jeep, and I was on the main road, cycling, and the lady in the Jeep wanted to pull out onto the road I was on, but she had stopped, so I assumed she had seen me, so I kept cycling. I wasn't going very fast, and then she pulled out, and I just remember getting hit off my bike. I'm lying on the road, and then I'm about to stand up, and now her Jeep comes for me at a high, and she hits me then and runs over me on my leg and crushes my bike. Um at that moment in time I try and stand up. I don't me and I'm just screaming and I fall to the ground because my legs go, and I'm trying to use my upper body to get to the footpath, and then loads of people start running out. To me, there's one particular man that was with me, and he was holding my head, my neck. They got blankets were putting on me. They wanted to take off my helmet. I asked them not to because I felt like I was getting cold. I just remember I couldn't feel my legs. And I was trying to calm myself. And I remember the man that was holding my head, they were trying to divert the traffic. There was loads of people around now, diverting the traffic, ringing the guards, trying to ask me questions, and ringing the ambulance. And I remember the man that was cradling me said, Lisa, you're going to be okay, aren't you? You're going to be okay. He says, my son wasn't okay. And I was like, sorry. And his son had died 10 years ago or 15 years ago in the exact same place on a bike. He was killed. He was only 18 years of age and he was killed. Now, he didn't go into the full story. I found out that later on, but he said, my son was killed here, similar situation. He said, but you're... And I think I just kept thinking then, oh God, not poor me. I was thinking, this poor man. So it was like as if a light had come to me, and all I kept thinking was, I'm alive and I'm going to see my kids. Yes, I cannot feel my legs. Well, I could feel a numbness, is what I could say, but I knew there wasn't something right. I knew there could have been a possibility that I might, wha- that they might not move again. I knew something didn't feel right with them. But the rest of my body, I knew I was aware. My back was out. I knew all of those other pieces were okay, but there was definitely something wrong with my legs. Um, but I just kept thinking about when he said this to me, all I kept thinking was, "Oh, this poor man. He has to relive this after losing his son." I didn't think about me. I was thinking about him, and I was like, God, love him. I knew I was going to see my babies again. So I think for me, everything else was irrelevant. I was going to be okay. And whatever I was being dealt with, I would move forward. And I seen a light. And I definitely think it was the higher power coming to tell me, your time's not ready here. You're going to be okay. There's more for you to do here. Um, and I really do believe that there's somebody up there watching me. I really do believe that so much. Like I have a brother and sister up there as well.
Mm.
Um, and I do believe that they're there, like watching me and the higher power. So it's not that I feel invincible, but I definitely feel like I'm protected.
Mhm.
And that drives me. Times when I do get sad or I want to give up, that will, I know the moment will pass and that I'm being guided and protected. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just knew I was going to be okay. Whether what would happen, would I be in a wheelchair or anything, I didn't know that, but I just knew I would be okay.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And it was so lovely to watch your kind of how do you call it, way back, because it did take a few months, but you were always very positive and you were always like, oh no, it's all good. I might not be able to move my leg, but I'm gonna move my freaking arms and I'm gonna move my something else. And like I remember when I twisted my ankle and I fell down and I fainted. And when I started to wake up, there were people around me, and one man was holding my hand and he kept asking me, what's my name? What's my name? What's my name? What's my name? And I had absolutely no clue where I was. I actually felt like I was coming back from some sort of a different life, that this is a dream, that this is not happening. And
Yeah.
then I said to him, stop asking me my name. My name is Alicia. I know what my name is. And I got really, I was very grateful, but I was so annoyed. And
Yeah.
then I fainted again. And then when I woke up again, I was crying. And then I said, stop this shit. Get up
Yeah.
and walk.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake, will you just get on with yourself? And I
Yeah.
stood up and I said, give me hiking post, I'm gonna walk. And obviously after a few meters I realized, no, I actually can't walk. Can somebody please carry me? I cannot walk. But and that's gonna lead me to the next question. For me, I felt, because I was in such good form fitness wise, and I just felt my identity was taken away with that injury. That I'm not a runner anymore.
Yeah.
And what that means, then who the fuck am I?
The funny thing is, um, I didn't feel like that after I got knocked over the bike, but I did have an injury, and I never got injured, but I did. I never got injured previous. But after Madeira and Slovenia, I came back and I was training. I was so determined um, to get selected. That's what I wanted for Ireland. So I was working, but I was doing too much. And I was running way too much for my body, probably not fueling it enough as well. And I had a fall running down Ballyhora, and my sacrum got knocked out of place. And the thing that brought me so much joy, which was running, every time I put a foot down, it's true, I got pain. So I was in so much pain. And that nearly killed me, more so than being stopped and having ankle surgery and my calf ripped open and getting stitches in the back of my calf and plates and pins in my leg and getting run over by a car. For some bizarre reason, having a fall actually really impacted my mental. Oh, who am I now? I'm not a runner, and what will I do? It actually really hurt me more than the accident for some weird reason. Maybe it was the first time that it happened to me being injured. Um, but I definitely do think um, like I didn't know who I was when I couldn't run for 3 months. And every time I tried to do it, it brought so much pain. And no matter how many painkillers I took, it still was, I just didn't, it wasn't connecting. The body and everything wasn't connecting. And it felt so wrong. And that really hurt me. That's something I loved and saved me. Felt so wrong. I was like, who am I if I don't have this and it doesn't feel right? And oh, um, but thankfully I've seen a good physio who knocked my sacrum back into place, and it all fell back into place. But I do think if it's because mine was an accident and I nearly got killed, but I wasn't. It's different. I can't. I feel like I was saved. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
yeah, I still always felt. Yeah, I just felt like I was saved. Where when I got injured running down the mountain, that identity crisis was there, and it did take me a while to try and work on other things and focus on other things, that I'm not just Lisa the runner, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah. You have to somehow make peace with that, don't
Yeah,
you? Because
yeah,
at the end of the day, running is just something we do. And I used to say that we very often, when we describe ourselves, we are what we do. I am a runner. I am a yoga teacher. I am a freaking scuba diver or whatever the hell else but we are not. We
no,
are all, and we do these things, but we allow them to take over our identity. Where at the end of the day, we are this person who does things.
yeah, that's all it
Yeah.
is. Everybody finds the thing, hopefully they do, they find the things that bring them joy. Um, but, oh, yeah, yeah, I think we do get very caught up about labels and labeling ourselves, that when if that label is taken away, especially if the label is bringing you joy, then it's hard. Where, yeah, like the label of Lisa being the drug addict, I was quite happy with that label being removed. But taking away the label of Lisa being the runner was a bit harder. But only when I injured, not when I got knocked over, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I have another question, and it's going to be from the other side, I think. So, Very often with all the training that we do and the amount of training that we do, you know, people would say, "Oh, you're so resilient and you're so strong and you're so incredible because you do all these workouts and all these runs." And you're just like, "Yeah, you're such a machine." But I think
Mm.
that, yeah, it can sound like a compliment.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, that puts a lot of pressure on us. And that can very quickly spiral into just going to do the exercise, the extra. I don't feel like very good today, but I'm gonna do another freaking workout because sure, I am resilient, aren't I? I am this strong person. And then we get into exhaustion and then we get to overtraining and yeah, and then sometimes we end up with injuries. But do you feel that? How do you balance that being strong and doing all that you have in your training plan, and then listening to that body and being like, okay, today I actually don't feel good. Today I should slow down.
Yeah, I definitely, that is definitely something that I have struggled with. And even to today, I'd be open and honest and say, God, maybe I should do more, and maybe I'm not doing enough. And you're looking at different people out there, and especially the influencers, they're running such high mileage, and I'm nearly. I think I don't really run that I don't really run a high mileage. I try to do a lot of cross training. I believe, especially as a woman getting older, it's helped me. I'm assuming it will be the same for men as well when they get older. So I'm trying to mind my body, honor my body, and fuel it right. I go to bed super early, so sleep is massively important as well. I try just not get caught up in the what everyone else is doing, and I try to just honor what Lisa's doing. I do sit down and write a plan out. I do have a coach, a really good coach as well, who tells me cop the foot on as well. But I probably do, because of my personality where I like to do things. Have never been diagnosed with ADHD, but I definitely do have I definitely have a bit of it. But maybe how I train is different than someone that doesn't have ADHD, or we're all different. So it's trying to understand what works for you, but it's listening to the body and saying, today I need to just walk, or today I just need to not even do strength work. I just need to swim, or I just need to be. I don't need to do, I can't do any of that because my body is telling me I need to recover. And it's not you being lazy, it's just you honoring the body and respecting the body. I think I'm getting better at that. But it's, yeah, like already in my mind, I've done so much today already, and I'm already in my mind going, oh, what else could I fit in? Because I just love being movement. And I feel, especially as women, we are going to have a week or 2 weeks in our cycle where we feel like warriors, and we are like, I could train all day, every day, and I could do everything. And then we'll have a week where we're like, oh my God. And is that because we did too much in the 2 weeks of the warrior stage? Or is it just the way our cycle is? So it's trying to, yeah, yeah. I'm trying not to be too hard on myself and realize that the body needs time to recover, the muscles, the ligaments, the tissues, the cells. It's not just about winning that race, getting that PB. It's about honoring the body that I still get to do this in 10 years' time, 20 years' time, and still feel strong. So, yeah, I'm trying to learn. It's definitely, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And it is hard sometimes, especially when, yeah, when we are such, I need to do something. There's an itch and I have to freaking scratch it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I was telling you before we started
Yeah.
recording that, before like years ago, I would do a lot of road running, and I am very competitive. I never say it openly. Like, this is probably
Yeah.
the first time I'm saying it publicly that I am competitive. Because I don't know, us women, I think, and I don't know, I can't speak for the majority of women, I can just speak for myself. But I feel as a woman, I don't have a right to say I'm competitive. Because
Yeah.
it's like, what? You just shut up. You're just a woman. Because I grew up in times when we were supposed to be quiet and we were supposed to just, not do too much noise. And I used to make a lot of noise. I was one of those kids in school that was always told to just be quiet and just please stop.
Yeah.
And and so when I started running, it was all in. It
Yeah.
was like I didn't go out, I did not drink. I was just like, it was all sleep, eat, train, race. That
Yeah.
was it. And work, like obviously
Yeah.
work. I had to make money for the races. Although years ago, race entries were not
Oh,
that
yeah, they're
expensive.
much cheaper. God almighty. Well, I wouldn't have known. But like the cost of racing is just ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
remember so my dream marathon was Paris. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, I'm going to do it. I want to do it. And at that time, you just had to be up early enough to enter your car details and you had a place. There wasn't anything, massive about it. And I remember when I got it, like it was 88 euros. Okay. It was 88 quid for, and that was including a medal, post food, a t-shirt, and a race entry. 88 quid in 2016. Jesus Christ. But I trained because I wanted to get a PB in that marathon. I trained like a fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
And 2 months before the race, I went out to do hill repeats and something happened to my hip. Long story short, bursitis, and doctor said I should stop running. And I was like, I have a race. Like I have to
Yeah.
train. Give me something. Give me some pills. Like I am not going to stop. So he gave me anti-inflammatories and said, yeah, okay, take that. And can I run while I take them? And he was like, I know you will. So there's nothing, we
Yeah.
just do whatever. And I cared about that race so fucking much, which in the hindsight isn't it great? It's fucking stupid. I ran the race, crossed the finish line, and I didn't run for 4 years after that. Four
Yeah.
years. Because I injured myself so badly.
Yeah. And I do, but that's again, as I said about social media and influencers, it's go hard or go home, and look, I'm not saying that we shouldn't train hard, but we should train smart. Makes sense. So there's definitely has to be a time where if we are injured, that is the body telling you you need to stop. You need to
Yeah.
listen to me because what you're doing ain't working. And we need to figure this out and you're going to honor the body. And I definitely think, and I do think social media can be a great platform, but it also can make people feel like they're not doing enough where they need to keep on pushing for the race, for the podium, for the light, for the, and look, I'm not saying again there's anything wrong with that. People got to do what they got to do, but your most, you were given a body. Let's start. We need to start minding it and protecting it and challenging it at times as well. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I think we need to just train, but be smart. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And do you also think, especially because I always say that as an addict, I say that you switch addictions. So from drugs, you go, oh, sure, yeah, I'm gonna now run, and I'm just gonna avoid the fact that I am using running as a coping mechanism. Do
yeah.
you find that? Do you
But
find that running is coping mechanism now?
yeah, like some people have said, people that train a lot or train very hard or run a lot, and they're running away from their problems, they're running away from something else. maybe there is something to that. I don't really like conflict. I don't really like getting involved with conflict. It kind of something I just don't like it. So I would rather go run, or I'd rather, and maybe that's a bit of me running away for not. Yeah, yeah, I do think definitely think if you are an ex-addict, you have changed your addiction to something else. And I have definitely changed mine to movement, and trying to better myself. And I will continue to do that because it brings me so much more joy than the addict that I used to be. Because I never, ever want to feel like that ever again, where something had a hold of me and I wasn't strong enough to leave certain situations because I was so weak and broken. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't wake up and thank the Lord or the higher power, whatever you want to call it, because there is something better, higher than us out there, minding us. Not a day goes by that I don't think that I am not that anymore. And yeah, give me all the exercise in the world. But yet I feel so much more freer. Yeah, there is. I definitely think we change one addiction to another. Yeah.
But I think it's also because, and again, now another thing, the eating
Yeah.
disorders and all of that. I think being active and especially running and the longer stuff, it teaches you a better connection to your body and a different relationship with food. That if you want to run those races and not even talk about competing, because that's another level, even
Yeah.
just running those races, you need to fuel yourself. And it's no longer a question of, oh my God, I think I've had too much pasta. It's no, honey, you
Yeah.
need that whole bowl of pasta and you're going to eat it because you need it for tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's for me because I spent so many years looking at myself and putting on that pair of jeans and literally feeling like I'm obese when I never was, but I just felt I am so obese. Oh my God. And
Yeah.
finally, after years, to be just able to eat and have a healthy relationship with food is
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. And do you find that because you're so into sport and because you compete, you do compete, that you're like, don't be laughing. You do.
I
You win
know.
races, honey. You win fucking races.
But yeah, I don't feel. Definitely with the food thing again. It was all control. I felt like I was obese. I felt like I was a monster. I felt like I was a monster. That's what I was. That's how I felt, was a monster. And if I was skinny, I would be happy. That was my thing. And I used to not eat very much, and then I'd have binges where I'd eat loads, and then I'd make myself sick. So it was all this control. Um, I definitely do think now, and because when I had the accident, I studied to be the sports nutritionist. I really realised how much fuel that my body does need. But there will be times when I have to check myself because that little, that little eating disorder that you've had for many years, it can still, lie a little trigger there. So you have to, it's just being aware of it and being aware that uh, I'm fueling my body. Not because I deserve to eat food, because I've exercised so much. I'm fueling my body because I want my body to work to its best. If so, I definitely do think if you've suffered with an eating disorder for so many years, you do it should try to raise its little head every now and again, and we do need to keep on working on that. The same with the addiction, the same with any sort of trauma that you've dealt with as a child or grown up. It's not just a couple of counseling sessions. It's something that you deal with every single day, and you just work on it within yourself. via exercise, via learning new things, breath work, sitting still, meditation. All of these things can help, I think, with the eating, not just, oh, I ran a marathon, I'm allowed to eat food now. Does that make sense? Kind of?
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
because I used to think that, well, because I've exercised, I can eat, but I deserve to eat regardless if I've exercised. But now I understand, because I exercise so much, I actually need to eat a lot more than someone that mightn't move as much. Yeah, that's. But yeah, I definitely do think it's something that we, if you have an eating disorder or anything like that, it's something that you work on for the rest of your life, I think, really, isn't it? It's, again, it's just about working on that self love and respecting yourself, and every day reminding myself that I am enough and that I am worthy and that I am whole and all of those things. And just, those, that little self talk that you have with yourself, and to remind yourself that, you're good.
yeah, yeah. And also accept that it does come. It's ups and downs and ups
Oh,
and downs. It is not like a disease that you just okay, you just fought
I'm
this virus
cured
and now
now. I'm cured. Yeah. There's no, you're cured. Medication, you're cured. It's, again, it's something you work on every day. Like you're training for running. It's the same with your spiritual side. If it's something you want to tap in, and I highly recommend anybody to tap into their spiritual side. All of those things every single day you work on. Yeah, I think so. I think we should keep on learning and growing until the day our time is done here on this beautiful planet.
yeah, yeah. And I think that's why I wanted to talk to you about these things as well, because I think for many women, we need to hear these stories. We need to know that, sometimes we feel so fucking lonely and we think we're the only person in the world who has these problems. And sometimes it's good to realize that other people who are performing, other people in the sport, they have the same thoughts. They do struggle as well, and they just learned some mechanism to go through it and to just slow down for a moment and just say, okay, let's just sit down, let's just take this out, put it on the table, look at it, and then, oh, okay, now it's fixed somehow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Put it back in there, go and
Yeah.
do it, because our head can play tricks with us, and
Oh,
sometimes,
absolutely. Especially with
yeah,
the eating disorder, that was with me for so long. Even when I had kids, it was with me for so long. And I try and think I wouldn't do for months on end, and then I'd have a really, binge, and then I'd eat everything because I've had the binge, and I go, I'm just going to make myself sick, so let's eat everything, everything. And I now, when I realize, if I do have a binge, because we all do have a binge every now and again. So actually, okay. You've just ate a lot of food, so let's just sit with that and deal with it and go, how does that make me feel? I don't really feel great. It's made my tummy feel really sore, and I feel very stodgy, or "Ugh." Okay, we don't really want to feel like that again. So how do we move forward for that? And that, again, brings it back to the awareness part for me. Is I'm just allowing, sometimes I might overindulge, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not like this horrific monster or anything. It's just trying to be aware and manage those. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing how we work, how our brains work. Yeah. Um, so tell me, looking back at your running career,
yeah,
um, was there a decision that you made that might have looked very brave from the outside, but
yeah,
was absolutely terrifying
yeah.
for you?
I think the decision was. like going to run for Ireland, and I was only really a year like at racing, like really where I really start putting my heart and soul into it, not just going out going, oh look, I'm in La Land and I'm so free. It was a year where I done run the line, and a man turned around and said to me, we were near the end of the race, and he turned, and I wasn't racing, I was just up there, loving life, running. And he said, you were a really good runner. And he said, you could do a really good time here. And I was like, what time? What are you talking about? Wasn't even wearing a watch. You're going to sprint, but you've only got 2K left or 3K left. You're going to run, and you are going to run your heart and soul. And you're going to keep calling at you, and you're going to keep on running because you're going to get sub 3 hours, right? And I was like, what? Okay. So I was like, sure, look, we'll give it a go. And I ran and ran. Anyway, I got to sub 3 hours, and he came through the line and he was shouting, drive it on, girl, keep driving. And I remember I was running with everything I had. My heart was pounding in my chest, and I was like, holy God, is this man ever going to shut up, right? But it was so powerful. And when I came to the line, I had only done it the year before, the first time I ever done it. And I had done it 20 minutes faster this time. And I was like, holy God, hold on a second. I'm only at this a year, and I'm 20 minutes faster in Runda. And I was like, maybe, what if I actually got a coach, start working like what other people do? How good could I be? So I went all in for a year, and start winning races. Couldn't believe it. Like Gale Force races, that kind of thing. And I just felt, somebody reached out and said, we're looking for more people for female 45 within Imra. They were looking for people to run for Ireland for female 45. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I was only at it a year, really. And I went over to Madeira, knew nobody, wasn't part of they had built up a community together, if you know what I mean, because they'd done these World Master mountain running trips together. I knew no one, and I didn't care, but I was so brave because all I kept on thinking about was, I am Lisa Byrne. I am a warrior. I have overcome addiction. I have left my job in the bank, my good pensionable job. I have left my whole life behind, and I've rebuilt myself up, and I can do it. That's how strong I felt. And I remember they were so shocked because I was the second lady on the female 45 team, the third lady overall. I was faster than most good lot of the men as well, and they couldn't believe it. And I didn't take off fast. I was really slow. I like to build my way up into things, but once I knew there was only 3K or 4K left, something like that, and I ran with my heart and soul again, like I do with pretty much most of the races. And they were so shocked. Like, they were like, who is this girl? And I just remember that was the ballsiest thing that I ever did, was to go and put the Ireland vest on. I could have said to myself, no, I don't have enough experience. I'm not doing this long enough. I need more experience under my belt. But I didn't. I just went. I did it. And I stood on that podium and got a silver medal for myself and for my country. And I've never felt so proud of myself for just being so ballsy and brave. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. God, that's definitely one of the ballsiest decisions I think that I've made. Yeah. Apart from,
But you didn't really feel like it's not your place. You actually went brave and you felt it all the way.
oh,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Like I remember somebody messaged me and saying, you deserve to be there. And I was like, fucking yes, I deserve to be there. What are you talking about? That never even came into my mind that I didn't deserve to be there, because I felt so strong, you know what I mean? And it wasn't that I felt like I was better than anybody else. Nothing. I never feel like that about I'm not here to compete with anybody else. I'm here to compete with Lisa Byrne. And I want to, you see, the thing with me is I actually want every single woman and man, but like we're here for women, okay? So I'm here, I want every single woman to find their inner power, their inner warrior. And I want every single woman to go out and rock it. Whatever it is that they need, whatever it is that brings out their superpower, I want them to go out, find it, smash it, own it. Oh, that would bring so much joy to my life. But I'm still going to go out and own it and smash it and do my own thing as well. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean I'm undermining any other woman, but it means that I'm doing my thing and I want every other woman out there to find their power and to do it for them. But yeah, that was definitely the ballsiest thing. Knowing other people might feel like, Jesus, who's this one? Who does she think she is? But I didn't care because I felt so worthy. For the first time in my whole life, I felt
Yeah.
so worthy to have that jersey on and to be there. Yeah, it was amazing. So amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so that was an amazing win. That was an amazing podium. And then the Eco Trail and all the Gale for races. And, the more you win, the more of an expectation
Oh,
you
yeah.
create.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's the
I
hardest
was,
thing is the expectation. Yeah.
yeah.
The
And
winner's
I
curse, I
was
call it.
Yeah, and the thing is that like I was chatting to Laura O'Driscoll about it, and Laura has a very healthy. I think she puts pressure on herself, but she
Yeah.
doesn't really take under consideration other people. So she
Yeah.
doesn't care what other people expect of her. She's there to do her race, and that's all that matters. How do you perceive that when you're standing at that start line and people around you and they know you've performed in races before?
I did. I would find, especially the first, like I did when after my accident, I did. My friend talked me into doing Run the Line, and I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm actually not doing it. I'm not ready. Like I haven't trained enough for the mountains. I'm only, only been 9 months or 8 months. I said, no, absolute no way. Everyone's going to be expecting this, and I feel like, come on to yourself. You love this. You love the mountains. This is what you love. Just do the short one, come out and have fun. And I was like, no, yeah, oh, all this talking in my head. And eventually then I just signed up still for the whole week beforehand. I'm not doing it. I have a cold. People are going to be expecting this of me. Da-da-da. And then on Friday, I had a good old chat to myself and I was like, oh, the fuck onto yourself, woman. Nobody gives a rat about what you're doing more than you think. I think we get caught up on it so much. I was like, just go. You were nearly killed and you weren't. So go and have some bloody fun. And that's what I did. I just went and I ran and like that, took it. Every time I came through a little bit of a technical part, I just kept on going, the Lord is with me, the Lord is with me, the Lord is with me. All I kept on saying. But I had the most magical time. And then because I know Run the Line route, I know when when I'm coming to the last 3K, 2K. And then I was like, you got it in you, girl. You're going to push it. And I pushed it with all my little heart and soul. And I just started passing people out that I had no intention of racing, but that little racer came out of me and I raced my little heart out for the last 3K and I got third lady up. So anyway, regardless of that, we do put that pressure on ourselves, other people's expectation. But now I'm just like, I did 2 IMRA races this year and I was like, don't let the expectation of what other people expect of you or what they think where you should be, it's irrelevant. You know why you're here. You know why you're here. And I'm so proud of myself knowing that, they were qualifiers. So the best were going to be in those races, if that makes sense. I didn't select my race. I wasn't selecting the race where there was nobody else in it for me to win it. I
Mhm.
put myself out there with the best of the best because I have a plan in place. And that's hard, you know what I mean? Knowing that I will be nowhere near the top. So I'm trying to learn that not to let other people's expectations get in the way of where I'm going. Yeah. So I'm actually more proud of myself, even though I'd won Run the Line or I was on the podium, and then I did the Art O'Neill and I was second lady home, and I did an amazing race then for Art O'Neill for the shorter 26K. I'm actually more proud of myself for the two IMMA races where I was like 12th or 14th. I'm second in my category or third or something in one of them. But I'm more proud of those two races because they were brave. I knew the best of the best were going to be in those races, the best of the females from all over Ireland trying to compete to get that qualifier. And I'm more proud of myself for putting myself out there. Does that make any sense?
Oh, absolutely, because that is wearing big girls' boots. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not there yet. You're not there yet. But I will be there. I
Yeah,
feel that in
absolutely.
my heart and soul. I know that, but that's what I'm more proud of myself to be put myself out for those two races. That yeah, I'm so proud of myself over that. So
Oh,
yeah, and then I'm trying to build then from that then. But yeah, it is trying to not let other people's expectations take over for what your purpose is in showing up for that day.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it is so important. It is because you can get wrapped up. And I know that from, we've had these chats before where like I prefer to race in France because nobody knows me here.
Yeah,
And it's not that I'm a fucking world class runner, but I just prefer to be an unknown person, even though in France, like I would still take podiums. But I'm
yeah,
like, nobody knows me and nobody will remember me next time because I'm not French. They don't give a fuck about me. But I
yeah,
know that when I come back to Ireland, I'm a bit like, people know my face a little bit, and it's not
yeah,
like they don't, as we said, they don't give a fuck how I'm gonna do because
yeah,
nobody cares. But I, for myself, I'm just like, I bring myself to another level of anxiety, and
yeah.
hence I just don't race, which is, for fuck's sake, get over yourself, you idiot. But
Hopefully, maybe like even with your injury that you have now, maybe something inside you. Look, at the end of the day, you got to do what feels right for you, and maybe you just don't want to fucking race in Ireland anyway. To your life, why do it? Maybe this accident, what's happened to you and the injury might make you go, you know what? I'm just going to do it and see how it goes. You know what I mean? Because you are an amazing runner. You're so inspirational, and you love it, and you bring so much passion to it. So I feel, why would you not do it? But I can totally get why. Like it's like okay, there's a lot of backyard ultras and all going on at the moment, and a lot of I've been asked a few times about this Celtic plate thing that they do and they run around the track and stuff like that. I couldn't think of anything. I'm sorry if this is going to upset anybody, but I couldn't think of anything more horrendous than running around the track for 100K or 200K or 300K. I personally would not want to do that. Do you know what I mean? That's just me. So I don't, that's not in the vision for Lisa Byrne. And if that means that I don't get to where it doesn't bother me because I that doesn't rock my world. Do you know that kind of way? I definitely think if you have to stay true to what brings you joy, but not be afraid to push the boundaries, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Like running around the track for that length of time does not. I To me that's not pushing the boundaries. That's just I don't want to ever do that. Does that make sense? You know what
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean? So I was trying to understand: am I being afraid here, or am I doing something that I actually I'm not going to enjoy? Yeah. So I think you should come back racing in Ireland.
Yeah, cool. Autumn. Okay, I'll do. Let's just wait and see. Wait and
Yeah.
see what this uncle does, and then make decisions on racing. So for this year, I know you're going to Czech in
I'm
June.
yes, going to. So I've done the two IMA races again. They were just a platform because I've only just got back with my coach for the last month, maybe 6 weeks now. So we're trying to build from those races. And at the end of June, I'm going to check, please God, everything going well, to represent female 45 for Ireland for the World Masters mountain running. And I can't wait. I'm so excited for hopefully everything going well. So everything now is training up to that. I do have two IMRA races I think I'm going to do at the end of April, which is this month. Might throw a few more in there in May, like one or two. Might do an L Park Run 5K. Well, just for the speed, I think. And that kind of thing. So it's really the other two IMRA races at the end of April are more training runs as opposed to races. Does that make sense? Because everything is the A race. I hate saying A B race, but the focus is June, the end of June. And then we're going to see how that goes. I'm hoping. What else do I have down in the diary? Hoping to do Run the Ridge in August. Loved that. I did that one time and I loved it. Very technical, some of the parts. So hopefully the ankle and all of that good stuff, trying to build on the confidence on the mountains after ankle surgery, because you might be fit, but it's the confidence again running downhill on the technical. So really trying to work on that. I'd love to do that one. I'd love to do eco. I'd love to do eco again. So hopefully I'm fit enough and everything going. I can get to do eco. Haven't decided just yet on the distance. Me and Laura my coach are still talking about that. We're going to see how the body is. Maybe I'll do the 47 again. I suppose because I've already won it. Should I do a different distance? Not that I'd like to podium, but maybe do I want to try and push Lisa a little bit more? So it'll either be the shorter one, the 30K one I might try, and work on the speed, get the speed more. Or do we push the boat and go for the 80? That is very ballsy though, because I'd love to do the 80K, but am I ready? Am I pushing the body too far? Too soon. I don't want to do that. I want to honor my body, because I've big plans for next year. But this year,
Can we look behind the curtain and see what are the plans for next year?
Next year, I'd really like to be qualifying for Ireland. Yeah, I really would. And I feel the work that I do, I feel like I deserve it. And I can. I feel like I'm worthy enough and I'm good enough if I keep working and I keep getting stronger. And I'd love to prove, not to prove, but just to show that a woman of my age that overcame so much and only started this whole journey not so long ago can qualify for her country.
Yeah.
I'd love that so much. I really would. And I honestly, I feel like it will happen. So hopefully that would be the plan.
Yes, that is the plan. Let's
That
just
is
put
the
the
plan.
word,
Yeah,
that is the plan.
yeah, exactly. That is the plan, and maybe push the distance a little bit further. I think for the last couple of years for me before my accident, it was trying to get faster as opposed to going longer, trying to build up my aerobic energy. I was trying to get faster as a runner. And so we're trying to build that back up, build the confidence back up on the mountains of the technical parts, still working on a bit of the speed. And yeah, so This year is all about laying down the foundations, getting to the World Masters, laying down the foundation, and then next year, yeah, qualifying.
Yeah. And I can so see you doing that. Like you're doing, to be a runner who, you've achieved a lot in such a short space of time.
Yeah.
And you have this regimen. You are such a dedicated person that, you have your plan and you're going to freaking do it perfectly. And I so believe that you'll be out there next year in the
Oh,
jersey.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And,
That's. I believe it too. I believe it too. I genuinely do believe. I've seen it. I've seen it so many times in my mind. I can be just standing in my house or walking along. I could be out running a mountain, and it'll just that I'm in a movie and I'm running over the finish line, or I'm getting the email, or it's like I'm in a movie and it just happens. And I'm like, I mean, it's happening. And the tears are running down my face. And it's just the feeling that I'm there, I'm living it. It's not, I'm going to win. I feel it. It's like it's like I'm in a movie. I'm an actress in a movie and it just happens. And I'm like, yeah, so, yeah, I feel, yeah, it's going to happen. So, yeah.
amazing. We're going to be watching you without putting pressure on you. We're just
Yeah.
going to be the biggest supporters.
Yeah.
Tell me if any woman who is a bit stuck in herself or unsure of herself at the moment is listening, what would you like to tell her?
I would like to tell her that if she could just go to the mirror and look herself in the mirror in those beautiful eyes and just remind herself of all the little things that she overcame in her life and think back when she was that little girl, the little girl, yeah, and go make that little girl proud, okay? You go make that little girl proud because like so much of us don't feel like we're worthy enough, we're good enough. But every time that I feel like I want to give up, I just go back to that little girl, that frightened little girl who never felt like she was good enough, never felt like she was worthy enough. And I'll go, I'm going to do it for that until I make that little girl proud. That's what
Ah, that's
I.
so beautiful. Oh my God.
It's, it,
Beautiful.
it's
Beautiful.
working on the inner child, though. It's working on our inner child. Taking her by the hand, taking that inner child by the hand, pulling her out, walking with her, and guiding her and telling her she is safe. You have her, and you're going to mind her, and you're not going to give up on her. That's what it is. Work
Yeah.
on the inner child. Yeah.
Yeah. And we all have a little bit of that work to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay, Lisa, it was a pleasure having you on and chatting to you. Again, a ball of positivity. Let's hope I'll have another chance to talk to you soon in real life, maybe
Yeah.
in Irish soil.
Yeah.
And yeah, lovely chatting to you, and hopefully talk to you soon. And good luck in all your races and all your plans. I genuinely believe that you're gonna be big.
Oh, love you. Thank you. Right back at you, girl.
See ya. Bye.
Oh.
And that's a wrap. You've been listening to Chasing Rabbits. I hope you enjoyed your time spent with me. And if you did, please share it with a friend. Spread the love as much as you can. We will see you soon. And in the meantime, keep chasing rabbits.